Hi everyone, welcome to IGCSE Study Room where you can revise biology topics from the Cambridge IGCSE syllabus. If you are enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. This video summarizes part 1 of chapter 8, Transport in Plants. Plants have a transport system to carry nutrients within them. Water from the soil is needed by the stem and leaves. The nutrients that leaves make during photosynthesis are needed by other regions of the plants like stem and roots. The xylem and phloem are both transport vessels that help move substances around the plant. The xylem transports water and mineral ions from the roots to the stem and leaves. It also provides structural support to the plant. So, how does the structure of xylem vessel relate to their functions? The xylem tissues have no cell contents, that means there are no cell organelles. These cells are joined end to end with no cross walls in between. Therefore, it forms a long, continuous tube. These two structural adaptations allow the xylem to form an uninterrupted tube through which water can pass easily. The other adaptation is that the walls of xylem vessels are thickened with a substance called lignin. This helps to strengthen and support the xylem vessels and stops them from collapsing inwards. The phloem transports food, that is sucrose and amino acids made by the plant from photosynthesizing leaves to non-photosynthesizing regions in the root and stem. So how could I remember which tube carried which element? The first sound phloem starts with the sound pho, and so it carries food, which also starts with the sound pho. The xylem and phloem vessels are collectively called vascular bundles. The vascular bundles are found throughout the root, stem, and leaves. We are expected to be able to identify in diagrams and images the position of xylem and phloem, as seen in the sections of root, stem, and leaves of non-woody dicotyledonous plants. Let's first learn the position of the xylem and phloem in section of roots. In the diagram below, the pink area in the shape of an X is the xylem tissue. The surrounding green area is where the phloem tissues are located. If you look closely at the real image on the right, you will notice the inner xylem area and the outer phloem area. So, if you are asked to identify the xylem or phloem in a diagram showing a cross section of a root, stem, or leaf, just remember that the xylem is always on the inside and the phloem is always on the outside. Next, let's learn the position of xylem and phloem in sections of stems. In this diagram, the inner pink areas are the xylem tissue and the outer green part of the oval shape are the phloem tissues. Now, let's learn where the xylem and phloem tissues are located in the cross-section of a leaf. In the diagram, the upper pink area is the xylem and the lower green area is the phloem. Moving on to water uptake. We know that a plant absorbs water through their roots. Let's first take a look at the cross-section of a root. So, looking at the diagram in the center, you may see that xylem and the phloem surrounded by the cortex. On the outer part, you may notice long extensions. These are called root hairs, and they face the soil. The cell with these root hairs are called root hair cells. A root hair cell is specialized cells found in roots of plant that is specially adapted to absorb water and minerals from the soil. So how are root cells adapted to do their job? The root hairs greatly increase the surface area, which therefore increases the uptake of water and mineral ions. It increases the rate of absorption of water by osmosis, and it increases the rate of absorption of mineral ions by active transport. Now, let's learn about the pathway taken by the water through the root, stem, and leaf. Water enters the root hair cells from the soil through osmosis. This happens because the soil water has high water potential than the cytoplasm of the root hair cell. From the root hair cells, the water passes into the root cortex cells. Then, the water travels into the xylem, where it travels up the stem to the leaves, entering the mesophyll cells. Here is a simpler diagram to follow the pathway of water from the root hair cells to the root cortex cells to the xylem and then to the mesophyll cells. Let's investigate using a stain the pathway of water through the above ground parts of the plants. Place a plant like celery into a beaker of water. This is the control. In two other beakers, place celery in the water mixed with food dyes, red in one and blue in the other. Leave all three plants in sunlight for a few hours. Afterwards, cut the cross sections of the celery stalks and observe. The one which was in plain water will leave no stain. The other two stalks will show specific areas highlighted by the dyes as seen in the diagram, showing that the water is moving in specific vessels, that is, the xylem vessels. We should be able to observe color changes in the leaf as well, showing that the water is being taken up by the plant. So, that concludes part 1 of topic 8, Transport in Plants. Hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to IGCSE Study Room for more biology revision videos.